Lobert, and I'm making this tape at the request of my son, James Lobert. I would like to dedicate this tape to our daughter Karen and son James, and to our grandchildren and those future generations that might be interested. The music that is used for the background has special meaning for Ed and me. They played this at our graduation ceremony from high school in Fort Wayne, Indiana in June of 1940. Let's turn the pages of time back and let my story unfold. Lucille Miller Lobert, and this is November 20th, 1992. Our son Jim is visiting us, and he's been after me to tell something about my life for our grandchildren and whoever may be interested in hearing about it. My parents were...
Where are we now?
We're at 8909 Mountain Brook Court in Louisville, Kentucky. And this has been our home for 7 years, and we're very happy here.
Who's that cameraman helping out here?
Okay, and my husband Ed is taking the pictures. My parents were Belva Mabel Gibson and Orrin Miller, and they planned to get married after World War I, and they had a false armistice November the 9th, so they went up by train to Hillsdale, Michigan, which was the thing to do in those days, and the real armistice wasn't until the 11th of November. My dad had been packed and ready to go to war, but influenza broke out, and so he didn't have to go. They bought a house at 1011, they called it Erie Street in those days, and changed it to Berry later in Fort Wayne, Indiana. And I had an older brother.
About when was that?
This would have been, probably 1920.
Okay.
And their first child was a boy who was dead at birth. And then July 1st, 1921, I came along. It was a hot July and no air conditioning in those days, and mother said I was a pretty baby, and the nurses carried me around on a pillow.
That was going to be my question. Were you born in the hospital?
Yes, I was born in the Methodist Hospital.
Methodist Hospital, Fort Wayne, that's the name of it?
Yes, and the same hospital you and Karen were born in.
I remember that.
Do you? I do too. I had a nice childhood. Pretty uneventful, though. 3 years later, my brother, Orrin Jr. Miller, was born. And
that was his middle name, right?
Yes,
Junior.
Yeah. We got along real well.
When was he born?
He was born in August of 21 to 3. We never got to fight, so we got along real well. Mother wouldn't allow any fighting. But she was after me a lot. I was peppy, and I led her a merry chase, and she'd chase me around the dining room table. And I'd always end up in the corner in the kitchen, and she'd give me a slap. And it seemed like it was every day to me, but she said no, it wasn't. And I remember one time I got a licking too, but it wasn't my fault. My brother was playing with matches in the basement, and neither one of us had confessed, so we both got a licking.
And who did that?
Dad did that. That was really a no-no.
And when you were growing up, did your mother stay at home, or was she working?
Oh yeah, she stayed at home. She had a heart problem, and so she was kind of a quiet person. She wasn't one of these club people.
Okay. And what about your dad, Grandpa? What did he do?
Well, he was a quiet fella too.
Where did he work?
He worked at the General Electric.
Doing
pipe fitting.
So did he have regular day hours and was home at night with you?
Yeah, well, sometimes during the Depression, he worked. He was lucky that he worked a couple of days a week, maybe every other week, so we had a little money coming in. That was a bad time, but it was different than the recessions they're having now. People would come around and beg for food, and we'd share what we had for our meal, but there was none of the stealing or anything like that. They'd mark the trees to know where would be a good place to stop for a sandwich or something. But you got to remember, we didn't have things to steal like stereos and TVs and everything in those days. We had a radio that my father made, and my mother always says he wore a path from the kitchen to the radio with his soldering iron. Have to go back and heat it on the stove.
Where was that located? The basement? Or?
No, it was in the corner in the dining room, right by the front room. So we could hear a few radio programs. That was our entertainment. We didn't get TV until I think it was 1953 or something. You were about 3, I think, when we got TV at our house. I loved to roller skate and play jacks, and we were on a hill, so we could slide down the street in the winter. We had a lot of snow. Of course,
with the cars out there?
Well, at that time, Erie Street didn't go clear through. It was a dead-end street. So when they changed it to Berry Street, and they opened it up. So, but when I was growing up, it was a nice place to play.
Did you ice skate?
Yes, we'd go to Lakeside Park and ice skate. I had a sled. I never had a bike, though. Never had a bicycle.
Did you play mainly with Oren Jr. or your neighborhood friends?
I had about 3 girlfriends that lived close by that I had played with too. Especially as I grew older. Went to school. I went to grade school at Harmer School. It was really a neat school.
Do you remember what year you started?
I would have been 5 or 6. I know I graduated in 1936. The coldest day of the year. It was.
That was high school, or?
No, this is grade school. Okay. 8th grade. It was 12 below, and of course I had to walk. And there was a.
How far away was it, by the way?
It was a mile.
Did you walk by yourself, or did Grandma walk with you?
No, I went by myself because I had to go a little earlier, and I couldn't make it though to school. And right across the school there was a drugstore, and I got into there, and I just thought I couldn't make it to the school without warming up a little bit. I'd like to take you back in time and show you a few pictures of when I was little.
All right.
There I am, pretty young. I was a cute little one, wasn't I?
Yeah.
This is me at age 6 months. Happy baby. I'm sitting on my Uncle Floyd's coupe. It was the thing to have in those days. And our next door neighbor's house is in the background. Later they remodeled and put on a nice big porch.
How old were you there, do you think?
I was 22 months. Forgot what I was. 25. I'm 25 and a half months in this picture. Mother made all my clothes. Cut my hair, you can tell. This was taken in 1929 when I was 8 years old. That was my one big doll in my doll carriage. And beside me is my brother, Orrin Jr., and 2 cousins, Loretta and Nizoma Green. This was taken in 1930. We had this car for about 2 years by then. It was a Model A Ford, no stereo or radio or heater. From left to right is me and my mother and my brother.
Well, what did you do when it was cold and you had to drive someplace?
We took blankets along. We had car robes.
Hot water bottles?
Yes, we took hot water bottles even. In the preceding picture, I forgot to say that this was kind of a new concept in cars. You didn't have to crank it to start it, although you could if it needed to be. Okay, this is a picture of my brother and his bicycle. This is the only bicycle we had in our family. And our grandkids rode it too.
Well, it's pretty much like that one.
Uh-huh. This is the summer of 1930, and I was 9 years old at that time, and I think you can see that I was wearing glasses. I started wearing them about 5, I think. And, I have a lazy muscle in my left eye that doesn't want to let it turn out to the left.
And who is that with you?
And that's my little brother. This is the only play I was ever in. I was 11 years old, 1932, and it's a butterfly costume that my mother made.
This is a school play?
Yes, it was a school play. Only play I was ever in.
What kind of a student were you?
I was a good student. I graduated third in our 8th grade graduating class. This gives you an idea of our backyard also. It was a narrow lot. It was only 22.5 feet wide. And my dad built the garage. And you can see a little cherry tree there, and there was one up closer to, on the right. So one was Orange Jr.'s sweet cherry tree, and I had one too, but they cut mine down because it didn't produce as good as his did.
Now, who's
Really
that in the
broke
picture?
my heart. That's me and my brother, Orange Jr. He was also in the play. This is me when I was 13, probably in the 8th grade, and this is in front of our house on Eastbury. We didn't have junior high in those days. You went from 8th grade right to high school. Well, I can remember what a traumatic thing that was. They told all these tales about the kids that set you in the water fountains, and you didn't know where you were going. They tell you the wrong direction to go to your classes.
They did that back in the 30s?
Oh yes, that was really something for me. As I remember growing up, we always had a lot of snow in the winter, and of course it probably seemed deeper to me when I was young, but we had enough to make a snow hut. My brother and I did that. It was really nice and cozy inside. It felt warm. We had a candle we'd burn in there, and we had a lot of fun with that.
Do you remember how long that igloo lasted?
It lasted a long time. It was amazing. First, we
Was that in
took
the front yard?
no, it was in the backyard.
Oh, okay.
We took buckets and packed them with snow, and then we had
Made
a
little building
box.
blocks.
Yeah, and then packed snow around them. So it was a thick wall. One of the pictures from a studio that we had studio pictures frequently, I think. I got tickled at Orange Jr.'s expression. Once again, my mother made my dress. A lot of embroidery where the ribbon goes through. She did beautiful work. Everything she did was so neat, and I could never compare with what she could embroider or sew.
And why did she make did she make Orange Jr.'s clothes?
Mm-hmm.
And why was that?
Well, because it was cheaper for one thing, and they didn't have a lot of things in the stores like they do now.
Now, was that during the Depression when this picture was taken, or was that before the Depression?
No, it was coming out of it, I would say. Well, that may be a little bit earlier, though. That might have been right in the Depression, too. 4 years old here. Just another shot to show you we had snow.
How'd you like that hat you have on?
Kind of looks like my sunbonnet, doesn't it? I had a sunbonnet she made me wear in the summertime.
Did you like that?
No. I didn't like to wear hats at all. She'd pay $3.50 for a hat for me, and that was kind of expensive in those days to wear to school, and I'd get up and turn the corner, and I'd take it out and stuff it under my arm.
No.
Yes, I did, and she knew I did that, too. Just
And when you came home,
she really
put it on the block before you got home?
I don't remember that, but I remember taking it off. This is 1934, and we're at Lakeside Park. We always had to go to Lakeside Park every year and get our family picture taken.
Whoops, wasn't that 1930? And your mom was 34.
Oh, okay, you're right, 1930. And Mother was 34. I was 9, and Ron Jr. was 6.
And what about her hairstyle?
Oh, permanents at stores had just started coming out, and she had her hair cut, and they were called crokinole. They had rods, metal rods that they wound the hair on. And,
Did you heat those up?
yep, saying it would hurt a little. It wasn't a pleasant thing like it is these days to get a permit.
Mm-hmm.
And it took a while. It took a lot longer, too. You don't have to guess how much I hated getting these pictures taken. It looked terrible. That was 1934. My dad was 36 years old, and I was 12. And that made Gordon Jr. 9.
And what did you say your dad did at GE?
He was a pipe fitter, kind of a plumber-like.
I see he was wearing a suit there. How many suits did he have?
Oh, one. My goodness. Lucky to have one, because this was coming out of the Depression, that big 1928 stock crash.
Now was it common for people to go out and have a suit dress up those days?
Yeah. You went to church, you know.
These days it's a little bit more casual, I guess.
Oh, right. That well, we didn't have casual clothes in those days.
Would you have either work clothes or suit, one or
right,
the other?
right. The winter of 1937. This picture is taken in front of our house. Gives you a good idea. More snow.
Now, where do people have their bedrooms in the house? I see
Oh,
the
okay.
windows there.
This is a big room up in the front, and my mother and dad slept there.
Okay, we talking about the top floor?
Uh-huh.
Okay. You want to point where those rooms were?
Yeah, is it on? Oh, this was my mother's bedroom and dad's bedroom. It was a big one. It went clear across the whole room. And back on the side was a small bedroom, and then in the back there was a little larger bedroom. And
You had a bathroom up there, right?
yes, in the bathroom.
Okay, now where was your room?
I was at the back, and because it was a little bigger. And Arn Jr. had the middle. And then when I left home, he moved into the back bedroom.
Okay, tell us a little bit about your dad's education, since we were talking about him.
Mother only went to 3rd grade, but Dad graduated from high school, and he was smart, and didn't take him as many years as
Well, he
most
graduated
people.
early from high school?
Yeah, yeah. He is smart.
Okay, and he was mechanically inclined?
Mm-hmm. He took a correspondence course. Oops. As I said, Dad took a correspondence course, and I can't remember what it was. And I know he did a drawing, like drafting. I think it entailed quite a bit of stuff. And his first job was an electrician at the state school. And then he worked on the railroad. I don't know if that would be pipe fitting there, or electrical work there. And then
Which railroad was this? I didn't...
was it the Pennsylvania? And then he went to GE, where he retired finally. And he was a pipe fitter there, because that's the only openings they had. They didn't have any electrical.
When was this picture taken?
1940, the year we graduated.
And
You mean
maybe
you
you
and
better
Dad.
start from the left to the right.
Okay, my dad, Orrin Miller, my mother, Belva Miller, me, and my brother, Orrin Jr. From 1936 to 1940, I went to Central High School. It was downtown Fort Wayne. And there I met Ed. He was in my homeroom, so I saw him every day.
You mean you looked at me, you passed me.
You didn't let me get away, though. I liked all my teachers. I liked practically all my classes. I'd say English was the hardest for me because I love poetry, but then they would want to know, now what are they really saying? And dense me, I couldn't figure out what they were trying to say.
What grade did you get in that English class? Probably.
Oh, I don't know. It seems like they were all like that.
It's probably
was
an
in-
A, right?
I was in the Y class. I wasn't in the best class. But I liked everything except that part.
What kind of grades did you make in high school?
I made good grades.
A's, right?
Yep.
And what did you graduate? What was your class rank?
I've forgotten already. I'm not sure. I think maybe it was eighth. Was it eighth?
Seventh or eighth?
Seventh or eighth.
Out of a
something
class
like
of how
that.
many?
Oh, over 200. It was the largest class that ever graduated from the Central High School or any school in Fort Wayne.
Okay, what kind of activities were you involved with in school?
Well, let's see here. I was in Latin club and English club and CTC. I can't even remember what that one was. French club, nature club, the boosters, the honor roll, and
You're also a member of the National Honor Society,
yes.
right?
Uh-huh.
And you're looking at your high school yearbook?
Uh-huh. I worked for a couple of teachers, but I didn't go to any of the dances or anything until Ed invited me to the junior prom, and of course I couldn't dance. I didn't really want to go, but we went. And then he invited me to the senior prom also.
And we have a picture of your prom dress and what have you.
I wasn't going to go with him, no. I was just going to go with my girlfriend. And,
Did you enjoy school?
yes, yeah, I loved school. I took the college preparatory course, but when it got time to see about going to college, I couldn't go because I knew I'd have to get up and give a speech, and I couldn't do that. So I decided just to graduate and get a job.
Did you take a speech class in high school?
I signed up for it in my senior year. I thought, now this is ridiculous, and I was going to make myself do it. I went in, they wanted a 3-minute talk on just on the newspaper. I left there in tears and went up and changed my course right back. Took that off the list.
Didn't one of your teachers make you give a talk in class?
Yeah, he did. It was a social science class of some kind. I'm not sure if it was economics or government, one of those classes. And he forced me to stand up there and talk. Cried, the tears came down the whole time I was up there. Afterwards, he said, "Now, see, that wasn't too bad, was it?" But I thought it was. That did it. I knew I couldn't go to college, although my folks would have sent me.
What about lunch? Did you take your lunch? What did you do for lunch?
I didn't have an allowance, but I got 15 cents a day for lunch, which would have bought a hamburger and a bottle of milk. And
How much was the hamburger?
I think they were 10 cents, and the milk was a nickel. But the kids, of course, had spending money, and we'd go downtown, and there was a nice place that had malted milks.
It was Morrison's.
Oh, you're right. I couldn't think of the name. Morrison's. They had the best chocolate shakes, and so I'd save my lunch money up. I didn't eat lunch, and then we'd go down to Morrison's maybe a couple times a week or so.
Did you remember how much those would cost?
They were like a quarter. They were big and they were thick. They were delicious.
Did you ever have an invitation to get a free one that you turned down?
Peanut gallery's getting a little involved here.
I guess it was a good thing I played hard to get her. He would never have wanted me otherwise, I think.
Now, did you have Coca-Colas back then, or did they just start coming out as far as you were concerned?
Yeah, as far as we were concerned, that was something new. And, well, that was great.
How much did a Coke cost back then?
Oh, you could go. A lot of places they were giving them out free, weren't they, to advertise?
Promotional deal, get you hooked on them.
Right.
Otherwise they were 5 cents.
That's right. Oh, and we'd go to like the drugstores, and you'd get these where they mixed them up at the counter.
Phosphate.
Phosphates, cherry phosphates, lemon phosphates. They were good.
Now, did you go to any of the sporting activities?
Yes, I was with Boosters, and I got to go to the basketball games. And that's the only thing in the sports line. When I took piano lessons 3 different summers, and so in gym, I never got to do the stuff in gym. I always had to play the piano. Didn't do it very well, but that's the best they had. see what else.
Would you have liked to have worked in the library?
Oh, I would love to have done that, but just too dumb to know how to go about it. And then when my brother came, he went right in, worked in the library, and got on the school paper, and he did a lot of things that I would have liked to have done, but I wouldn't have known how to go about it. I don't know how he did, though. He did. We went to movies and skating parties.
Roller
We'd go.
skating?
Uh-huh.
How would you get to the skating parties?
My mother took us.
Now, how old were you at this
When
point?
you said us, specify who?
Well, my brother and I. Did you
And
go with? You didn't go with us.
Ruth Adams,
Oh, Ruth Adams.
Catherine Keller.
Uh-huh.
Tell them about the deal that you had cooked up.
I don't remember.
When they had couples skating,
Oh.
you would skate with me. But what would happen after they said all skate?
I'd go with the kids.
No, the other two would come out to rescue you.
Oh.
All planned well in advance.
Is that right?
See, no, I don't remember this, but he does. But I think he's probably right.
So roller skating was kind of a date type thing that y'all did back then?
Oh no, was it Ed?
No,
Just
Oh.
everybody went.
But that's what high school kids did.
that's what I'd like for it to turned out.
That's what you were trying, huh? But that's what high school kids would do, go to the roller rink, go roller skating.
See, they had a bus that you met at the bus terminal for a quarter. This bus would take you from Fort Wayne to almost New Haven and back. That's where I thought I could nail her. But she wasn't on the bus, going or coming.
Oh, Grandma Miller's taking you around.
Right. And she'd wait and take us home then.
That's what you call the umbrella of protection.
Was that umbrella needed?
No. Oh, and in the evenings the kids would get out and play in the street, and but I never was allowed to. I'd watch them from the front window. Felt so abused.
Now, tell the story you were talking last night about the telephone in your house. When do you think you first got a phone?
Oh, gee, I have no idea. I was maybe 8, maybe.
Okay, 8 years old, maybe when you first. So you remember a time when there was no phone.
Oh, yeah, right.
And was this a rotary dial phone? Or
Yeah, it was up on a stand, you know.
it had numbers,
It
and you
had-
dialed the number?
Right.
telephone number?
And you pick up the receiver and put it to your ear.
And how long did that phone last? Well, that phone left your
Oh.
house, right?
Yeah, I got so that I wouldn't talk on it. So they finally took it out.
So they bought the phone for you?
No, it was just going for the house.
But when you said you didn't want the phone anymore, you didn't want people calling you.
Yeah, I wouldn't talk to him. I don't know why.
So they took the phone out for a while.
For a while.
And a year or two came back in.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe Warren Jr. needed it then, huh?
I don't think he talked much on the phone. He was kind of quiet too. But he had a lot of friends. He was a good mixer. When Ed and I started dating, we went to a movie, and I remember our first movie. We, not knowing the other had seen it, we sat through it, the whole thing, and then we took the bus home to my house, and it was a trolley, but not on a track anymore. You could the bus did come over to the curb, and so then Ed looked up at we had lemonade and some popcorn and Swiss cheese, and Ed looked up at the clock, and it was 5 till 12, and he had 10 blocks to go to catch the last bus home, and like he said, he wasn't. It wasn't a track star, so he couldn't make it, so he had to walk the whole way to his house. How many blocks? 34? 34 blocks. And was shocked to find his mother waiting up for him. At 2 in the morning, he couldn't believe that she was up waiting for him.
That was only half the story. Then the next day, Monday when we had school, she didn't show up. You want to tell them what happened?
I forget. Oh, I had an ulcerated tooth. The dentist came out to the house even, it was in bad
Dentist
shape.
came to the house.
Mm-hmm, Dr. Tully,
Wow.
I think she was out of school 2 or 3 days. How'd you think I felt? That was the end.
Oh, it is just the beginning. Now, did you guys have a lot of dates?
Not too often, my mother wouldn't have allowed that, would she?
The next one was the junior prom. You want to tell them about it?
Well, neither one of us could dance. But we got all fixed up and had our pictures taken, and we danced around.
Yeah, but there was a little deal connected with this dance. I will go with you
Oh. If you got a date for my girlfriend,
Who's your girlfriend?
Ruth Adams.
So she didn't have a date.
Mm-hmm. So he got her one.
How much did it cost you?
No, that worked out real well. He had a car. He got his brother's car. You remember the band that played? Carl Jensen.
Yeah.
He was in the scout troops with me.
So you had a live band at your prom.
And the theme was a cotton ball. And she had a cotton ball name tag, I think, or we both had, and I had cotton all over me by the time we got through.
And what happened after the prom? Did you just go home, or did you have after prom parties where you stayed out all
Oh,
night?
no,
No.
nothing like that.
I had to put the sound system away, and then we went home. I think we took the
First.
girls home, and then I went home, and that was it. Tell them about the senior prom. That was the next one.
Yeah, he asked me to go to senior prom, and I didn't want to go. I was going to go with my girlfriends.
Now, was that common, going if you didn't have a date?
No.
Didn't bother you?
Well, I
though?
don't. Yeah, it must have been. It must have been.
I mean, I think nowadays, if
Or I
you don't
would-
have a date, you probably don't go. But
Uh-huh.
at least some people did that back then.
And while we're out getting our pictures taken, here comes Ed, and he sees me. Had I told you I wasn't going, or what?
That's right. He said no.
Yeah. But then they wanted to go, and they didn't have dates, so that's why we were going to go together. So did you come on in then, or you went back? Clear over to his house, 32 blocks again. Oh, poor Ed.
No, I had to go back and set up the sound system.
Oh. I was really hard on him.
Yeah, so that was your high school, and did you go out with other people in high
No.
school?
He's the only one that ever asked me for a date, only one I ever dated,
Uh,
only one I ever married.
Before we get to the pictures, do you want to tell them about graduation?
Oh, okay. Oh,
Go
wait.
ahead. Tell them about the dress that you had
I
to wear.
will. At graduation time, practically everybody got a nice, pretty white dress for the occasion. And my mother couldn't see any sense in that because after all, you have the gown on. So we just made something where just the skirt showed, and I had just kind of like a plain slip top on it. So little did we realize that as soon as we got through with the service, we had to turn those in, and there I was. And this looked like an underslip is what it looked like. And I could have died. I wanted to get out of there so bad. Mother spent the time talking to other parents. I couldn't even get in the car. There I was. It was embarrassing.
And so there you was asked for your third date, I guess.
Yeah.
While you were stuck since your mom was talking.
Oh, and I could have crawled through the floor.
And what did your dad do? Did he just kind of hang around while your mom talked, or
Was he there even? He wasn't there. He was probably working.
at graduation?
Uh-huh. It was during the daytime.
Well, it was on like a Sunday. Oh,
I don't think so. I think it was during the week. But I can remember it was an afternoon, and there I was, and that.
got invited out though.
Yes. Time for the junior prom and the senior prom. I think this is the senior prom picture here. And it was a peach dress. It got flowers for me.
And this was purchased from a department store.
Uh-huh, yeah. June 1940 at the junior prom. Seniors got in free. Ed and I went together. Our gowns were gray, and I had a nice new pair of white shoes that I liked. The dress I had underneath it was something else. Mother just thought you'd just be able to see the bottom part sticking out the bottom. So we had some nice material for that, and then we just put a cotton top on it, where most kids had something really pretty. Did I tell this before? I did. This is the senior picture from our school yearbook, the Cauldron, 1940. I like that dress too. Warren Jr. worked on the Spotlight. He was a sports writer and
Editor.
editor.
What's a Spotlight?
Yes.
What is it?
It's this school newspaper
Okay, the
at Central High School. He couldn't play sports because of his heart, but he loved sports. Warren Jr. Won a letter to go on a sweater for his work on the Spotlight. Warren Jr.'s wearing a tie here. I always felt out of place with my clothes, but Warren Jr. didn't, because they just wore slacks and shirt and a tie. And he wore sweaters sometimes too.
Now, this is also in high school.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's probably working on the school paper. Warren Jr.'s off to Kendallville and I forget which other city. Auburn. With a group of students.
Yeah, is he driving? Or where is he?
Yes, he's driving.
Okay.
He's the one with the hat on.
Right there. You can tell he felt important or good to be driving that car.
And that's the same car we saw a while back.
Yeah,
correct?
still at 1928 Ford. They didn't get another one until Warren Jr.'s body came back to be buried in Arlington,
Virginia.
1941, I was 20 years old and working at the Lincoln Life,
Doing what?
office work.
Secretary typing?
Oh no, filing.
Oh, filing.
Start out filing.
Remember
And
how-
I was really good at finding misfiled material. Really good at that.
Do you remember how much you made back then?
Yes, I made $25 every 2 weeks.
And that was a full 8-hour job, 5 days a week?
Right. I made this dress, and that's when I got my first hose,
Nylons?
nylon hose.
And where were you living?
I lived at home with Mother and Dad. When I went to school, I had to wear rayon, heavy knit rayon hose that just embarrassed me to death. And when I graduated, the girls gave me a couple pairs of nylons, and didn't you know I ruined the first pair the very same day I wore them. That's why Mother didn't have me have those. This was right after our graduation at Northside High School, where they had the ceremony. Ed and me.
And that's when he was getting ready to ask you out, huh?
I guess. Ed took this picture of me at the corner of at Central High School in 1939.
So you were a junior at this point, I guess?
Right, right. Ed in his graduation gown, June 1940. We're with Grandma Lobert. She was,
Well, Ed's parents here.
oh, well, no, it's Ed and his mother and me.
And my dad in the back. He's standing in back of you.
Oh, okay, I couldn't hardly see him. We were at Knightstown. His mother had been in an orphanage there for some time, and we took her back to visit, and she really enjoyed that trip.
Were you married at this point? No.
No, not yet. This is graduation 1943 with my brother, Orm Jr., and Ed's sister, Jeanette. Ed liked to take pictures, and he took a lot of good pictures of me. This was over in Janicki Gardens. We went to a lot of parks and did a lot of walking for our dates. My mother was kind of a very domineering woman. She ruled the roost, and if she thought we were seeing too much of each other, why, she would slow things down. Although she was glad I married Ed, she liked him, but she didn't want things to go too fast, I guess. I think this was at Lakeside Park, one of the other parks we'd go and walk in. Ed took my picture again. This time I was working at the Lincoln Life, and Ed would come and meet me for lunch a lot of times, and my mother didn't know we were doing this. Otherwise, she'd think we were seeing too much of each other.
Did he give you rides almost home?
Yes, he'd take me almost home, and then I'd finish walking the rest of the way. Mother ruled with an iron fist. This was my engagement picture for the papers. I bought that was my first suit. Once I got started working, I bought things for myself then, and my nylons. Oh, I thought that was wonderful. Rather than the old heavy rayons my mother made me wear.
Now, did your mother ever comment on how you spent your money?
Oh yes, she thought it was a waste to buy these nylons because they would not hold up. And true, they didn't. But they looked so much better. They felt so much better. Everybody else was wearing nylons. Oh, forgot the date.
December 1943.
Okay, Ed was working at the GE when he was called to the service, and I was still at Lincoln Life. And this was in December, you think, when you came home for your grandmother's funeral?
Right. Mm-hmm.
All in his uniform. Army took all his excess weight off. He looked good. He looked sharp. My new coat.
And now we've kind of covered your life up through high school and a little bit after graduation. Why don't you tell us a little bit about you and Dad getting engaged?
Okay. Well, when they called Ed for service, he didn't want to leave without being engaged. And I really didn't want a ring because I had a birthstone once and I lost it, and I was so afraid I'd lose the diamond. But he got me one, and it was this one right here. Small one, something we could afford. If he could afford. There it is, the little one. And I wore out the wedding band. Here's the wedding band. So later, he bought me another one, a much bigger one. And I about wore out that wedding band too. So later I added another. Later we had the two combined and added another little chip to make it all in one, and they soldered them together. Kathy gave me that idea. I think we'd been out to maybe a movie or something, and we were in my mother's living room, and they'd already gone to bed, and he proposed with the ring.
And what did you
And
say?
I said yes.
Okay. And what happened next? Was he already had his draft notice at that point?
Yeah, he knew he was leaving. Ed's mother and my mother went along with me in Ed's old Ford down to Texas for the wedding.
Whereabouts in Texas?
At Fort Hood.
Killing.
But on the way down, we went straight down to Florida to see Jeanette and her husband. And, we had quite a time. I can't remember, there was something happened to the car before we ever got started early that morning. Did we have a flat tire?
I wasn't with you. I don't know.
Something happened. We didn't get very far, and my dad had to come and help us out.
Now what happened to the men folk?
the men folk, well, they stayed home and worked.
Paid for this extravagance, you guys going down to Texas for
No,
the marriage.
this was it, just Ed and I did that. So we got down to Jeanette's and she was sick and she'd lost a baby and then they never did have any after that. So we stayed there overnight, took the Gulf trip around.
Was that Pensacola, Florida?
Uh-huh, Pensacola, right.
And Jeanette was living, they were married and living down there?
Right. And it was quite a trip. I know we had a couple flat tires, and I know one place we had to drive through deep water. It was really, I think the mothers were more worried than I was, so,
What time of year was this?
in September.
So it wasn't real hot down there?
No, it wasn't, well, it was plenty warm though, in September.
Yeah, I guess you're right, still it can be warm.
Uh-huh. So we got to Texas, and but then they wouldn't let Ed get out to get married, and well, his mother got homesick. She didn't even wait for the wedding. She took the next bus home. Or
Oh, she wasn't there for
train.
the wedding?
No, she didn't wait. She was homesick. But my mother wasn't leaving till we got married.
she wanted to make sure it's done proper and
Right.
official and
Right.
okay.
So we did get married in the chapel by a chaplain, and it was very simple. But I just shook inside, and so did Ed. You'd have thought it was a big wedding, and
Still a big step.
yes, it was. Yeah, we took it seriously. Not, however, like you did. I never saw anybody stand there and smile through the whole ceremony like you did. And my mother took us out to eat at the, what do you call that?
Service club.
Yeah, the service club. We all had pork chops. It was a good meal. And then we waited around for her train to leave.
So she took the train
She
back.
took the
and
train.
Dad's mom
way
took
of-
the bus.
Well, I don't know, how did she go?
She went by train.
She went by train too. I
Mhm.
imagine that was the best way to go.
Mhm.
And Mother went clear across to Florida to visit Uncle Arvel on her way home.
Via
And
the train.
Yes, I'm not sure if she went up to see her in Junior then too or not. No.
Where was he located?
Well, I don't think he hadn't gone yet, had he, or had he?
I don't think so.
It was about the time he left though, but I don't think he'd gone.
So you stayed in Texas?
Mm-hmm.
She left you there.
I loved it. Boy, it was such nice weather, and we'd go to the movies, and we had best seats. Didn't cost much. We'd go to PX, and of course it was the rationing time then, and the ladies that we lived with didn't use all their meat coupons, and so we lived steaks. Boy, we had it made, didn't we?
I don't believe you told us what date you all got married.
Oh, September 26th, 1943.
Okay. And why don't you tell us a little bit your living conditions
Okay.
down there, where you stayed?
Well, this was just a house on a dirt road, and we just had one room with Congolium rug on it. We bought a little space heater. We all shared this coal oil stove.
But you and Dad and the two ladies that you rented from?
There were two other girls there too, besides the landlady
Oh.
and her husband. Washed on the washboard. I love that. I started at one end to hang up my clothes, and by the time I got the clothes hung up at the other end, the first ones were dry. It was just super. So I washed for some of the others too.
You enjoyed it so much, huh?
Yeah, I enjoyed that.
And how long did you stay down there then?
Was it be 3 months? Let's see, September, October, November. 3 months we had.
And then what happened?
And then they shipped him overseas.
You want to tell them about the pie?
Well, as his camp was breaking up, why they gave us spices and lemons and I don't know what all things from their kitchen. So I was going to make it a lemon pie.
Was that one of his favorites?
Well, we had the lemons too.
It was available, huh?
Right.
Okay.
So So I started cooking it, and I tasted it. Didn't taste very lemony. I was going like the directions said. So I better put in a little more lemon juice. After all, we had at least a dozen lemons. And wow, did that pucker your teeth?
How many lemons did you put in?
I think 6. Yeah.
The recipe called for 1 or half one or something like that?
Oh, maybe 1 1/2.
1 1/2.
Something like that. But anyway, it would have curled your hair. And I didn't think he'd eat it. I would have pitched it. But he took that with him, ate every bite on the train.
Well, that's what he tells me.
Oh, I'm sure he did. I'm sure he did.
Okay,
Didn't
but
I get to see the train go by? Yeah, I thought we did. We could see it go
so
by.
you stayed until he left on that train.
Mhm.
And then what did you do?
Well, then I drove home, and I guess I'd given him
By
the
yourself?
map. Yeah,
All the way from Texas?
I'd given him the map, and I didn't even have a map. So I'd go. Well, you kind of know how to go.
And so how old were you at this point now?
22.
And you drove all the way 22 from Texas up here to Indiana with no interstate highways, right?
Yeah. Well, not like they are now. Then when I'd get gas, I'd check their map to see what I had to do next.
Where would you spend the night?
I didn't. I drove straight through and to Corydon, and I got in there about 5 in the morning, and I just sat out dozed off in the car till Aunt Beulah woke up.
Well, when did you leave? So you made it up in one day, in essence?
Yeah, I left early in the morning.
How fast could you travel back in those days on the highway?
Not too fast in those days.
Well, what are we talking about?
Oh, maybe I left. I don't know when I left.
45 miles an hour or 50?
I'd say so. When you in?
The speed limit, I don't think there was a speed limit, but it depended on how fast the car would go.
That was the more important factor, more relevant factor than the limit, huh? Oh.
Yeah, so then I spent a night there, I think, before I came on home.
And what kind of car were you driving?
This same old Ford that,
Your parents?
no, it was the one that had bought.
Yeah, for how much did you buy it?
I think it was $225.
And it had a lot of miles on it when we bought it.
Did it have a heater in it?
No,
No air conditioning?
No.
only when you rolled the windows down.
And we had that car until Karen was a baby, and we'd had it in for repairs, and went to pick it up, didn't even get home, and it stopped again. And he went back to the repair shop, and I had Karen in a bottle, and didn't she knock that bottle out of my hands? There I had a crying kid with a dirty nipple on the bottle.
Coming home right from the hospital, you don't.
Well, no,
Oh.
no, she was older than that, but she was taking a bottle. So then was when we decided we needed a different car, didn't we?
No, we decided to get rid of it.
What'd we do then?
By the numbers, put one foot in front of the other.
Well, you walked? So
Yeah, well, there was a period of time we didn't have a car.
That's right, I forgot about that.
Hmm. Well, before we get into that, though, you came back to Corydon, and you visited there before you went back to
Well, I just rested
Fort Wayne?
up, yeah, before I came.
And so then while Dad was over there in Europe, or heading over there, what did you do?
Well, I decided since I'd already quit from Lincoln Life, they wanted me to come back, and but the big money was working at GE on men's jobs, so I thought that was a good time for me to try. And they hired me right away, and I worked up in what they call that, the apprentice school, and they had all kinds of machines to run up there.
What were you working on? Bombs?
No, these would be small orders that they would need.
Electric motors?
Well, no, they weren't even that. Parts and things.
Oh,
Replacement parts.
for electric motors?
Well, for all kinds of machines.
Oh, okay.
Like machines out in the factory even, we made parts for.
And was your dad still working there at that time?
So
You had a bunch of
up
relatives.
until this time, he rode his bike back and forth to work at the GE. But then when I came home and we had the car, then we drove.
And do you recall how much you were earning
Well, it was considerably more than Lincoln Life, but I don't remember just how much.
So you lived at home then,
Uh-huh.
and worked at General Electric all the time until Dad came back?
Uh-huh. And even after. After the war, though, I had to give up that good man's job.
Take a woman's job, huh?
Right, I'd go take a woman's winding job.
At General Electric?
Uh-huh. It was out at Taylor Street, so I had to walk from our house to there because it had the car. And I'd go in, what time did I go in? Yeah. I must have went in the morning. And you were working nights, were you?
I don't remember.
But anyway, by the time I got home, then I had to walk back home after my day's work. And I was tired when I got home. And he's hungry. He's rested and
Where
hungry.
was he working at that time?
He was working at the post office.
Okay.
And he was ready to eat, and I was so tired. Oh. So that didn't last too long. I soon gave that up. I don't know if that was before I got pregnant with Karen that I gave it up. But I know I couldn't keep that up. This is our wedding day, September 26, 1943. Ed in his Army uniform and I in my blue velvet dress that I bought for the occasion.
Where was this taken at?
Yeah, this is on the front porch at where we lived in Killeen, Texas. We had one room. This was in December, and boy, this was getting close to the end of our time together. We didn't realize it at the time, though. Ed had been to radio school, finished that. We didn't live in the Hilton. We had one room with a Congolium rug on the floor, and it got cold, so we went out and bought a little kerosene heater, and we all shared a coal oil stove to cook on, but we lived high on the hog. They had rationing, but we could go out to the PX and buy the best meats and everything reasonable.
Well, were there cracks in the
Oh yes, yeah.
house there?
Yeah, it wasn't insulated or anything, just an old home, but nice people.
And is that the car that?
Yeah, that's our good old standby.
And it's a Ford, right?
Mm-hmm. Right. And it's dirt roads. Even downtown, there were dirt roads.
Just you and the horses.
In fact, they didn't even have bus lines coming in. It was coach lines.
Mm-hmm.
Coach
Stage coach.
with horses?
No,
Oh,
it was motorized.
oh.
Also in December, we made a little trip down to Houston and Galveston. This picture was taken at Galveston. This is with my cousin Catherine and her husband Clarence Byers. He was going to bombardier school. Had a good time. Another shot at Galveston. We were very happy. We didn't have much, but when you're in love like that, it didn't matter. We were thrilled with everything. This picture with my cousin. I have to tell you too that when I got home, I was sick. They said it was malaria, and I had gained, Christian, all this cooking down there. I had put on quite a bit of weight, and my mother looked at me and she just cried. She couldn't believe how fat I looked. But we sure had some good meals. We girls got together who had husbands in the service, and we'd take pictures in house coats or formals or anything just to send to the fellas. And I'm wearing my cousin's formal there. Warren Jr. graduated from Central High School in June of '43, and shortly thereafter he was called to the service. And he had a job at a bottling works, a pop bottling works, and a bottle had exploded in his hand and severed the nerves. and they hadn't taken care of it right away, and by the time Mother found out about it, it was too late to go in and get those tendons back, so he couldn't shoot a gun with that finger, but they took him for that anyway and put him in the infantry, because that's what they needed. First he went to North Africa, and then up to Anzio, and they had training for another D-Day, and which he eventually went to a D-Day in southern France, and he stepped on a mine on the beach and killed him instantly, they say.
It was on his birthday.
Yes, and here's from the newspaper. Private Orrin J. Miller, 20, son of Mr. and Mrs. Orrin Miller of 1011 East Berry Street, was also killed in action in France. He met his death on his 20th birthday, August 15th, serving in the infantry unit.
That was the 3rd Division.
Mm-hmm. And he didn't come home. He was buried over there for a good many years.
Well, and what did you say about his training being difficult for him?
Oh yeah, when he was being in training in Anzio for this invasion, he said he didn't know how much longer he could take the training. It was very hard on him. He had a heart condition too. Was never allowed to take gym in school. But if they need you in an infantry, that's what you do.
Okay, and when was his D-Day invasion in relation to yours?
After. Yeah, that was.
Ours was in June, and we were on the outskirts of Paris when this happened. I can't give you the dates or anything.
Okay.
So it'd be in 19...
Well, he was killed, so it was June the 15th, or August 15th.
Okay, so your invasion, D-Day invasion was when again? What month?
June.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
June the 6th or something, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
And his was in August.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. And he got killed on the beach.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he stepped on a mine.
And how did you find out about that?
They sent an army person to the door.
Was it
With a
long
telegram.
afterwards?
No, not too long afterwards, I don't think.
Were you there when
Yeah.
they came?
Mm-hmm.
Was it a weekend then? Or was it a night?
It was like a supper time or something.
Yeah,
And
it was-
I thought my mother, she had heart trouble, and I thought she couldn't take it. But it was Dad that took it the hardest. Mother held up pretty good. Several years later, I think it was in November, they brought my brother's body back, and
It was November the 12th.
he had a service at
Arlington Cemetery was put on by the Navy. They take turns, like the Navy would have it one day, the Marines and the Army Air Corps, and it just so happens that the day we were there was Navy's day to take care of it.
There were quite a few burials that day too.
Yeah, we drove in and we had a soldier escort.
And somebody stayed with us the whole time.
Yep.
Folded up the flag and gave it to Mother, and gave us some flowers
So he was originally buried in France.
in southern France. Uh-huh.
And you have the flag?
Mm-hmm. Mother's Day, Ed sent flowers to his mother, and it's a good picture of his dad too. Ed and Fred and Edna Lobert. Arn Jr. sent this plate home to my mother from Italy in 1944.
What about the flowers in the picture?
And the flowers are from you for Mother's Day.
Whose picture is that on the wall?
That's Arn Jr., my brother. While Ed was overseas, I was home, and we'd go to the movies to see the news, because that's the only way you could find out just what was going on overseas. And outside of letters, each one of us wrote the other every day. Sometimes you would get maybe 4 letters at once, because they get caught up. But we both wrote, and Ed would give them a few little tidbits once in a while. And boy, I fought every battle right with him, and sometimes I think I was more worried than he was. Sometimes he'd tell some humorous things, and here we were just thinking the worst might happen.
You want to tell them about the my watch that my grandma gave me, how it broke, and I sent it back?
And I forget that I forget.
You took off the back, and there was a message in there for you.
Well, I don't remember what it was though.
Told where I was.
Oh, can you remember where you were?
I think we were near where Shakespeare was at the lake that went up in Canada. The
Oh, Stratford on
Stratford.
Avon.
yeah, that's
Oh.
where we were at over
Okay,
in
I
England.
think
England.
I think your thing's on it.
I know it's on.
Oh.
How did you know to take the back off the watch?
That came in another message.
Uh-huh.
Oh.
I told her to take the
Oh.
back off to look to see if she could see what was wrong with it.
I see.
Mhm.
And I knew that letter would get there before the watch did.
Oh, okay.
Oh, he's
Pretty tricky.
he's a thinker. He's sharp.
And the military read all your letters, right? Or they had to
Absolutely.
write-
You
And it's a
bet.
good thing they did.
Yeah, you bet they did.
The reason I said it's a good thing they did, because that helped me out. They read about my barbering career.
He was thinking all the time.
He was.
So, anything else about what you were doing back here?
We just worked and wrote letters. We didn't do too much. Go to the movies occasionally. That's about all we did.
Who'd you go to the movies with? Girlfriends or your parents? Or?
Yeah, girlfriends. These days it was people I worked with that had their husbands overseas too. We had things in common. Ed came home from the service towards the end of September, 45? 40,
Yeah, I think so.
40, yeah. And we lived at my folks' house for a while. And that was really rough on Ed especially, because my mother's used to having things quiet, and she wasn't used to all that commotion of us going in and out all the time. And she liked it when she went to bed, everybody else goes to bed. And of course Ed didn't like that. So we were getting a house built. Worthman was building some houses in Indian Village, and we applied for that. So that took about 3 months, I guess. So finally we moved over to Ed's folks' house, and that wasn't too much better because of Jeanette. She made life miserable.
Oh, was she married at that time?
Yes. Uh-huh. When was he home? Well, he was home then too, but they lived there. They lived there for years.
Oh, so at Dad's parents' house?
Mm-hmm.
So he had 3 families living there in that
Right, right. But it didn't bother his mother as well. Jeanette bothered her, but she couldn't say anything to. She wouldn't say anything to Jeanette.
So, but you
My
had
mother would have. My mother would have lowered the boom.
But you had that house underway.
Yeah, yeah. Ed's mother and dad were just super.
And we moved in on your birthday.
Yeah. And how much did that house cost?
9,000.
It was supposed to be 7,000 when we contracted, but they wouldn't take any money down. They wouldn't, and so then when it ended up, GE had a strike, and they just upped the price $2,000. I think just because of that, I think they could get it. And
what-
we didn't know whether to take it or not. And we talked to Clella, and Clella said, take it.
And,
So
and
we
what
did.
did, it turned out to be a good deal, didn't
Oh,
it?
you bet. You bet.
But what did the parents think?
Oh, my parents thought we should get something for about $3,000 someplace that wasn't in the sticks. Start out, kind of like they did. But
Thought that was a little too good to be starting out on.
Yeah.
Too much money.
right.
And what kind of interest rate were you all paying back then?
I think it was 4%
I think so.
Was that pretty high back then?
average.
Mhm.
Average?
Yeah. took about 3 years, I guess, before we conceived Karen.
Holy, now, the house you got back in 1946 on your birthday. You moved in, right?
Okay. Okay, 46. Okay, so it was only 2 years then before we got her.
So it was basically a year, well, a little less than a year, I guess, since Dad got back, that you lived with two parents while the house was getting built.
Right.
And what was Dad doing for employment?
He went back to work for GE. No, you didn't. You went to the post office, didn't you?
Well, when I got out of the service, I went to GE, and then he went on strike.
Oh, okay.
And then I went to Purdue Technical School for a while, and all of a sudden I got this card telling me to come to the post office. I'd forgotten about taking my civil service examination. And I figured that was my last strike.
And then they tried to talk you out of it, didn't they?
No.
Didn't?
So he got the job at the post office, and then you had the woman's job at GE?
At the GE. And after the war, I had to go out to the Taylor Street plant. So I hoofed it over from our house.
In Indian Village?
Uh-huh. Mm-hmm.
Well, that's a walk.
Yeah.
About 2 miles or so?
Well, I don't know. Good mile anyway.
Okay.
And I had a woman's job there. I put wire in motors. Stators, they call them. And they had a time. The machines didn't want to work right, and the setup men had troubles keeping them going.
Now, was Dad's mom working out there with you also?
Yeah, she worked at Broadway.
Okay, was she doing the same type of thing?
She had small motors. I had big ones.
Okay, your dad was still working at GE?
My dad was still working. So I don't know how many months I kept that up, but I got so I couldn't take that. It was just too much. I'd come home and Ed would be just getting up, fresh as a daisy, hungry for supper.
Oh, you didn't work at the same shifts?
No, and that's why there wasn't any, well, his shift kind of overlapped, I guess. He worked nights, I think, then. So I always asked him, why didn't you pitch in and help cook then?
She's getting us in one way or the other, isn't she?
He said, well, I didn't want to spoil you. And since that, since we had the kids, he's been really good. He can do anything. And does.
Okay, so when did you quit working at GE? When you had Karen?
Well, before I had her.
What did you do?
Well, we planted gardens and we just,
You stayed at home.
right.
Let Dad spoil you, huh?
No, he still wasn't cooking in those days. Not till after I went back to work, and I didn't go back to work until after you were 3 years old, so I had it pretty nice.
Okay, so when was Karen born?
She was born in April the 8th, 1948, and you were born in 51. And in the meantime, we'd take the buggy, and I'd go clear from Indian Village over to my folks' house with the buggy and the baby.
How far away was that?
3 miles, is that?
Each way?
Yeah.
Where was the car?
Well, he had that to go to work in.
You only had one car back then?
Oh, you bet. Sometimes we didn't have any car.
Which car was this, by the way?
That was still that old Ford, wasn't it, in? Because we didn't get another car until 1950, I think it was. Well, it was.
Well, it was the year that they buried your brother in Arlington.
Mother and Dad got theirs first, and it wasn't too long till we got one. So it'll be the year after that we got ours, I bet, in the spring.
Okay, so you stayed home, planted the crops, and cooked.
Right. Right.
And you did have a big garden, right?
Yeah, we did a lot of that. And we had good times. We had good times.
And then when I was 3, I drove you out of the house and back to the work market, huh?
Well, that's when we went to get the new car. So I was going to work long enough to pay for this car and save up enough so that we'd have money ahead for the next one. And we were supposed to keep putting something in all this time after that other one, so that we'd have money for the next car, and I could quit work. But that never happened. you know how it is. You go on, and the expenses go up, and by that time you've got enough seniority that you know you don't really dare quit. You need to stay on for retirement.
Hmm.
Oh, and we got Karen as a baby. She was a delight, of course, for both grandparents, and she was the first one. And we just really enjoyed her growing up. She was intelligent. She did everything well, made good grades.
Let's see, now didn't she have a favorite phrase that I heard about, something about by myself?
Oh, Susie by self. She wanted to do her own shoes.
And why did she say Susie?
Well, because we called her Susie. Karen Sue, which she wouldn't appreciate now. But we called her Susie, didn't we, sometimes?
What, you frequently call her Karen Sue, and sometimes you call her
Uh-huh.
Susie?
Well, she's the one that said the Susie by self. That was she's little thing. She could do those shoes when she was very young.
Tying, lacing them up, tying them.
Mm-hmm. And then 3 years later, you came along. Wasn't quite the same. Although you slept better than she did, but you were.
Sickly.
Yeah, that's right. You had the whooping cough, and you were in pretty bad shape then. But
That's my excuse.
after you recuperated from that and got into school, and it was couldn't get him to clean up his room.
Well, now hold it. Before we go into that, people probably aren't interested in. Now, what was the deal with Karen and going to school? Didn't she stay back a year, or she didn't quite make it?
Oh, yeah, she
get her
couldn't.
piano lessons?
That's right. Her birthday was just quite at the 8 days off before she could have started to school. So they told us not to worry, give her something else to do. So that's why she started the piano lessons. And that probably helped make things fairly easy for her too.
And she took piano all the way through high school.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she got very good. And I marveled that years later she could, even though she hadn't touched the piano, she could sit down and sight read, and just like she'd been practicing.
And then I guess we were both on the swim team.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Both in the speech club in high school.
Busy days.
Yeah, and let's see. Do you remember how? You might ought to get it directly from her, but did you remember where she graduated in her high school class?
No, I don't know. She's up there at the top, though, but I can't tell you.
Other than top half.
Good for you.
Then she went on. Then we both went on to Indiana
Mm-hmm.
University.
Yeah, she wanted to go to a smaller private school, but that was just too expensive. But I don't think she regretted going to IU. I think they enjoyed it. We enjoyed going down to watch the singers. IU sing, I forget what they were called.
And
It
what
was a
did,
pretty campus.
and you obviously liked taking big trips, right?
Oh yes, no, we love to travel. Did a lot of camping. That's the only way we could afford to go.
And you didn't mind that camping. Right?
No, I liked it. But the funny thing of it is, we took a cruise, I guess it was, and Ed never really wanted to go camping again. He liked that high living.
Liked a good life, huh?
Right.
You could get accustomed to that.
Oh, that must be when we went to the Bahamas and we stayed in a motel.
Oh, that's when we went to the Bahamas, all right, but it was with my folks, remember? Holiday Inn.
And without your kids.
Yes.
I remember that.
That spoiled him. After that, that's the way he wanted to live.
Well, we were treated royally down there in the Bahamas, remember?
Mm-hmm.
They had red carpeting out for us, lights
Yeah, it
all
was
over the palm
wonderful.
trees.
And while you were cruising the Bahamas and in the Caribbean, you also flew out to Hawaii.
Yes. That was a good trip, too.
And we went to Jamaica.
Let me ask you this: when you were graduating from high school, did you anticipate you'd be flying to Hawaii and cruising
No
around
way.
there? And
Never dreamed we'd ever get to do that. Never dreamed. And then we had a trip to Alaska a couple years ago. we've been fortunate.
And did you say in there that you took your parents, I guess
We took Ed's folks and my mother to Hawaii
Wow.
with us. My dad wouldn't leave. My dad wouldn't even drive his car over into Canada. He did walk over, but he wanted to be darn sure he could get back to the United States. He would never gone to Mexico.
Tell him about your dad. You may not remember this, but I do. About your dad in that car. He had 1949 Ford. Was that his last car? No, second to his last car.
That was 48.
A 48 Ford. And I remember you telling me the story of him taking it into the Ford dealership because he couldn't fix something that was wrong, and they refused to work on it, right?
Yeah, he'd made so many of his own little changes.
Yeah, and he had a little switch to turn
Yeah.
the clock off so the battery wouldn't drain
Yeah.
the battery. And I wonder how you all finally got him to get rid of that car.
That was when it was wrecked, wasn't it? They'd been down to Corydon, and the snowstorm came up, and they were retired. They could have stayed another day, but nope, they had to go home. And going over, somebody ran into him on a bridge, and it was totaled.
Guess old people sometimes get set in their ways, don't they?
I think we would wait if we'd have known. If we'd know, wouldn't we?
I think so.
Especially since we're retired. So, and then they didn't drive too much after that, after they got the next one. So that's the one you inherited.
Yep, eventually that's what I inherited. Stick shift, and taught Kathy how to drive a stick shift on the frozen
I'll never forget
parking lot
that.
at Kmart by our house.
I didn't think she could do that. There it was, icy.
What a better way to learn how to drive a stick shift than
I
on a sheet of
guess.
ice, right?
My heart was in my mouth. But she did it.
Well, do you want to tell them about the weddings?
Karen's and Jim's. Karen got married and John got married right at the end of their college days because their friends were still at school. It was in a nice little chapel on Beck Chapel right on the campus. Hot? Oh, it was hot that day. And we had the dinner beforehand, and it was hot then, and the rehearsal. We thought, well, they'd have it nice and cool the next day. They just didn't have it air conditioning on, but I guess it was broken. So it was hot the next day. Ed had sweated through that jacket, down his arms, through the chest. The back was wet.
I don't remember the heat, but I remember I took a final, I think, the day before their wedding.
And then when you got married, it was a beautiful wedding down to Texas. And
Well, yeah, and then after they got married, they moved on down to Louisville.
right. Yeah, they were lucky to get jobs there together. That's about the only place city that they could find. They could both get a job to go to work.
The grandchildren.
Yeah, then came the grandchildren. That was nice. I remember little Peter.
Well, I got married first.
Well, yes.
Well, let's just get the record straight here now.
You had a lovely wedding, and I had
Down Dallas.
I got when Karen got married, I made my dress. But when you got married, I came to Louisville, and we went to this nice place, and I got another peach-colored dress. Had shoes dyed to match. I went to Kathy's mother's beautician, had my hair fixed. I really looked nice. It was a lovely wedding.
I guess were the college years when Karen and I were in college pretty exciting times for you guys?
I wouldn't say so, would you? It was just work.
Okay, well.
Work and wait for letters or
Well,
calls.
cruising around, that's when you started taking these trips around there, leaving the kids at home and going out on your own.
We didn't do that till after they were married, did we?
Baloney. I remember getting a card from you guys going to the Bahamas or what
Oh,
have you.
really?
And I wondered, well, that's fine, how do you do? I'm in school, I can't go, and they're taking a vacation in the fall. I couldn't believe you guys did that.
Well, that's because this special deal came up, you know.
Yeah, I understand. Just not during spring break or summer.
Right.
Yeah, I always wondered about that.
Well, we took a lot of vacations until you were in high school and Karen was in college, and then the times were different. I guess that's about the end of that then, wasn't it? And then there was working in the summer and for you kids, so
Yeah.
that one took the end of the vacation.
Then the grandkids came along.
Mm-hmm. I'll remember little Peter. He was such a good baby. You'd have to wake him up to give him his bath or feed him. Such a good baby. And I'll remember that Christmas he crawled, and it was too much for him. He went over in a corner with his books, and then he crawled up the stairs and went to sleep on his bedroom floor. Just such a good baby.
Yeah.
And then came Daniel. Daniel was just the opposite. I can remember him. He was good, but he didn't want to sleep.
No.
We put him to bed, and I can remember giving him a bottle, and it wasn't long till he'd throw that thing out of the bed, and you'd hear it. And I turned out the lights in the hall, and I crawled in, got that bottle, put more milk in it, put it up in his hands, and then he'd drink that, and he'd go to sleep then. But
He was a little more high strung.
yeah, he was something else.
Use these euphemisms here.
Uh-huh. And then I remember when Stephen was born, we came down to be with her.
I remember the shock that we had with the announcement first.
Right. Yeah, they did that well, didn't they?
Yes, they did.
And I remember for Grandma Lobert. Where are you going to get it? You going to buy it? You going to get it at school? And she didn't even think they were going to have one. And I can remember we stayed down there just a few days, and Karen thought she could handle it. And I cried all the way to Indianapolis. I just thought I couldn't leave. And she said we hadn't hit the highway before. She was wishing we were back. Poor Stephen. I swear he had colic. We just didn't know about that. So it wasn't too long that she called us back. So I was glad to come back.
And then when did you make the move down here?
Well, I looked at houses, and of course I wanted to move. I wanted to move when we were still in Fort Wayne, and everybody's in Fort Wayne. But who was it? Was it Karen or you that wanted us to move? But the other one didn't. Must have been you wanted to stay there for your schooling, I guess. Anyway, I never thought I'd ever move Ed out of Indian Village. But,
Moved him out of the state.
Yep.
Down there in a state with fast horses and fast women and liquor, right?
Now, by that time,
Well, whatever
his
saying
sister
is.
was gone, and so we knew we could bring Grandma with us. But see, my mother was gone too when she, so there was nobody really to keep us in.
And how old were your
Fort
parents
Wayne.
when they died?
Mother was just 87, and Dad was 78 or something.
And what did they die of?
Dad had strokes, and Mother had cancer,
Of the stomach, was it?
uterus. And Grandpa Lobert had a heart attack, or his heart problems. Grandma, what would you call it? Well, it was hard, but we'd take her to get her hair curled or anything, and just any little thing, like they were going to hurt her. You go take her blood pressure, you just bring the cuff out, and hadn't even touched her, and she's
Getting nervous.
yeah. And so the way she died, a doctor was cutting her toenails, and I can see her. I can just see her. And she just worked herself
Panicked
up.
and had a heart attack. And that was it.
Yeah.
But she was down here.
Uh-huh.
You moved down here, you moved
Yeah.
her down here too.
When she came down, I'm sure she thought we were going to bring her home with us. And I would like to have done that, but she had, what do you call that, hernia? And they didn't even know where it came out of her at, and it went pretty much around her. and there was no way we could have taken care of her. She was
You just need extra care.
pretty big, and she was incontinent, and there's no way we could have done it. We couldn't have handled her. It took more than one person to do it, and we wouldn't have known what to do anyway, I guess.
So you're all down here, and then
Mhm.
Emily came along.
And then, yeah, dear little Emily, so fortunate. She was a good little sleeper too, but oh, has she been a chore sometimes since then. Sometimes she can be pretty bullheaded, but every one of them are just as dear as they can be. We're real fortunate. Just don't get to see you and your family as much as we used to. And even then, you know, we had to do it on little 4-day trips because we were working then. But now they're all growing up and everybody's so busy that don't have time for each other.
Yep. Hopefully next year you'll be down for graduation.
Just think.
Kids will be going off to college and getting married, and other kids graduating. And
We'll go down and there'll just be you two there. If we're able to go by then.
Well, so it sounds like things have turned out pretty well
Yes,
for you.
we've been very fortunate, very fortunate.
And what do you do here?
Oh, we work on the computer a little bit, we work on the yard, I don't know, time goes so fast.
And you play a lot on the organ,
Oh
right?
yeah, well, some, not as much as we'd like to. It does a little painting. I work on genealogy.
Never sit around twiddling your thumbs wondering
Absolutely not.
what you can do to occupy your time.
No. Well, I've pretty much relived my life while we're shooting this, and I've kind of enjoyed it after all. I just do your best, whatever you do. That's my philosophy, and don't worry if things are not too happy sometimes. Just try to make the most of them, and you'll turn another corner and things will change. And it's not always the having money that makes you happy. We were as happy when we had nothing as any time in our life. And we've been very fortunate to have a good life and have good kids and good grandkids. Very fortunate. I just look forward to living in what the grandkids are going to do, where they're going to school and who they'll marry. And I wonder if we'll still be alive when they have their children. We got such a late start, and especially Karen, so I don't know if we'll be around that long or not. Hope so. I'd like to end this tape by saying how thankful we are to have a great relationship with our daughter-in-law, Catherine Lynn Hausman Lobert, and son-in-law, John Joseph Turek, and our grandchildren, Peter James and Daniel Hausman Lobert, and Stephen Frederick Turek, and Emily Lee Turek. We hope that one of you at least will save this and add your own history of your life to this for future generations.